Sit back, strap in, and get ready for After Hours with TC Restani. This is Abigail Harwich, executive producer, welcoming you to the show. And now, TC Restani!
Alrighty there. Welcome to the After Hours of TC Restani, the podcast. I'm TC Restani, emanating from the palatial podcast penthouse here at Restani Productions for another fun-filled episode of After Hours. Going to go around the horn right now and introduce my panel of experts. Of course, on my right, the one and the only my mentor, Mr. Ricky Bittman.
I love that story.
That was my Pee Wee Herman imitation.
That was very good.
It wasn't bad, huh?
I was going to say, hey, Paul, what's going on?
I was just watching a little bit of that before I left the apartment.
What are you watching? What?
Pee Wee's Big Adventure.
Oh.
I taped it on IFC.
What is IFC?
Independent Film Channel.
That's what I said.
On the weekends they run movies. On the weekdays they run repeats of Everybody Loves Raymond and 2.5 Men.
Boring.
I love those independent films.
I'm sure you do. Yeah. Speaking of independent, the most independent milk drinker on the planet, the one and the only Quincy Briscoe.
Yeah. And how you doing tonight?
We're doing good. Now we have to set the record straight. For the last 3 podcasts, you've had onion rings. Tonight you've brought back the steak fries.
Yeah, steak fries are good.
Now, did you do that for me?
For all of us. Yeah.
Because I just had some.
Well, I'll have some more here.
After the healthy dinner I had, I went and spoiled it all with steak fries.
Well, what's wrong with steak fries?
No, well, I mean, I had a nice healthy dinner with no garbage.
Well, steak fries aren't garbage.
Well, you know what I mean.
All they are is like Idaho potatoes.
How
do you know they're from Idaho?
Yeah, how do you know that?
Well, think about it. The way they're cut, look at how big they are. And,
they could be from Texas.
Yeah, they're from the steak fries.
Well, when you go into some of these restaurants, okay?
Oh, boy.
And they say the fries are made out of Idaho potatoes. Okay? So I would think that these fries are made from Idaho potatoes, too.
Well, maybe they are. They could be.
Do you know when you went to Five Guys Cheeseburgers?
Right?
They tell you on a sign where the potatoes are from on that day, because they're not always from Idaho.
Well,
there's a big sign that says, today's potatoes are from...
the dirt, like all potatoes.
Yeah.
Well,
but it could be some other state.
I would think...
Could be from Maine. You never know.
California.
Yeah. California. Well, Five Guys aren't bad. When they first opened up around this area, and then they about maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago now, it's been...
Never eat a potato from New Jersey, though.
Why?
It's all like toxic waste down in New Jersey, other than in Doug's neighborhood.
I was going to say, Doug might take umbrage with this.
Well, I heard he's not even in New Jersey right now.
No, he's traveling.
He's traveling like Clark Griswold.
I noticed you didn't respond when he was looking for suggestions on things.
Because I really didn't have any, because you had 94 of them already.
I had 3, for Christ's sake.
Well, 3, somewhere in the world that means 94.
That one of them, though, I want to talk to Doug about that. I don't know if he must have, because he's a huge Spiderman fan, but it's the rock comic that was put out in the 60s, maybe 70s. That tells the story of Spider-Man's origins, all acted out on a record. And I had that as a kid. Wow. And there was music mixed in and everything. And it was, one of my favorite things.
There you go. Your recommendations would be better than mine.
Yeah, and he had I gave him the interview with Mike Nesmith that Gilbert Gottfried did.
I've met Mike Nesmith.
He's a great guy.
Not anymore.
Well, what Spider-Man version you like? The one for the electric company? Spider-Man.
Well, that's your favorite.
Yeah, well,
the Spider-Man who didn't talk. He just went,
well, like, I was just a kid. Okay, maybe that's when Spider-Man
I'm just saying, it doesn't, I'm not saying it's not good. That's your favorite.
But maybe like I just didn't get a chance to see all the other ones, because music was just starting. Well, when I was a kid, music would just start to enter my life.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe there was a lot of other Spider-Man versions too.
There you go. I was going to recommend Doug, some YouTube links to the QVC Lisa Robertson collection.
Yeah, your crush. Yeah, he probably would have enjoyed those. I don't know if his wife would have cared for them though.
Well,
but
maybe she could have bought a cubic zirconia.
That's true. I bought those ones for.
I would have bought anything off that woman.
Yeah, you would have.
Anything.
Huh?
Yeah.
If you're listening, Lisa
Robertson,
if you got anything to sell, TC, he's got the money.
Hey,
I got the time. She's got the money.
She's got the money. Yeah,
by the way.
Oh, what? Breaking news?
Yeah, you know what? She hooked Tosh up.
No, with what?
Tickets to see Luke Bryan tomorrow night.
Who?
Luke Bryan. He's a big country music star.
Oh, good for him.
Great seats down at what used to be known as Great Woods. I still call it Great Woods down in Mansfield. So we got great seats up front.
Tanglewood now?
No, it's called Xfinity Center.
Oh, Xfinity Center. Yeah. Okay, great.
And she put us up in the Marriott across the street. Her and Tosh are pretty tight.
Yeah, that's good. That's fantastic.
And I just go along for the ride. What can I say? Women are like that. They stick together.
I understand that. Well, speaking of women that are no longer with us,
Yes, the great Loni.
the great Loni Anderson.
Yeah.
Of course, she was one of the wives of Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
And, of course, she will always be, to me, Jennifer Marlowe from WKRP in Cincinnati.
True.
Had the honor of meeting her at a Chiller Theater about 10, 11 years ago.
I'm going to say she was very nice.
She was a superstar.
Really?
Super nice. Super.
That's nice to hear.
The Maybelline had held up. She was still unbelievably gorgeous.
Now, as a kid growing up,
I like Bailey better.
yeah,
It's like Ginger Marianne.
yeah, she was too glamorous.
Right. Don't get me wrong. She was stunning.
I'm not, yeah, I agree 100%. But there was like the glamour was just too much. It was almost intimidating. She looked to me like one of my mother's like friends. You know, she had like an
To hang around with some of your mother's friends then.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm trying to say like she seemed older to me. She seemed like an old lady who like was really good looking.
And she was just a couple days shy of 80
when she passed away.
when she
That's
passed
right.
away. So when did WKRP started in what, like 1978 or something like that?
That sounds about right.
78, 79, and went to like 82 or 3 or whatever it was. So do the math. I have no idea how old Jennifer Marlowe was, Loni Anderson back in the day.
No, I have no idea.
Probably like late 30s maybe?
I would say, yeah, between the late 20s into the mid 30s, maybe.
Okay, well, what about her? She was still unbelievable.
You remember her?
Yeah, I remember the show WKRP in
The
Cincinnati.
sexy secretary, the blonde?
Yeah.
Jennifer?
Was brought to my attention, by someone, and she passed on, and
She's no longer with us.
yeah, that's too bad. Like, a lot of the celebrities are it's too bad.
Well, it happens. And I'm telling you, I said this before on this podcast. We're at the age now when, you know, our heroes are starting to go. And you know who comes after that?
Who's that?
Us!
WKRP was on the air from September 1978 to April of 82.
Wow. So that makes it 4 years? Yeah, about 4 years.
Oh, we're always good at math down here.
Who wants to be good at math?
So she was born in 1945, 55, 65, 75. She was like 33 when she started on that show.
But yeah, like you said before, I mean, Bailey was hot, cute, sexy.
Right.
Just Jennifer just didn't seem attainable, you know?
Well, Herb tried to get her on the show.
Oh yeah, because that's the type of guy that would go for someone that looked like that. You know, who did she end up hooking up with in real life?
Burt Reynolds.
No, and before that, the guy on the show, Andy.
Andy?
They were an item.
Oh, were they?
Yeah.
Gary Sandy, whatever his name is?
Yes. He's actually still alive.
I think he's the only one. Well, no, excuse me. He's still alive, and Les Nessman is still alive.
Bailey's dead?
Bailey's gone.
Wow.
And Venus Flytrap, he's still around.
Wow.
So, do you know what the call letters on WKRP stood for?
Carp?
Crap.
Crap.
That's, Hugh Wilson, the guy who created the show, said it stood for crap.
I remember when Herb was out doing sales one time, he had a giant fish outfit on. He goes, look at me, I'm a carp. I'm a giant carp. So he was trying to sell it that it was a fish.
But it was actually crap.
Crap, no?
Hugh Wilson went on to create and direct the very first Police Academy.
Great
He
series.
makes a cameo in that movie.
He does?
He does indeed.
Wow.
I'm channeling Jeff's knowledge right now. Remember the scene when Mahoney was teaching Hightower how to drive?
Vaguely.
And he fender bendered a guy, and the guy got out of his car all drunk, like, what the hell are you kicking in it? And he looks in the window and he sees Hightower sitting in the back.
Yeah.
That's Hugh Wilson.
Hey, you learn something every day on this podcast.
Creator of WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was a comedy bit, but we provide laughter, because
You must have loved Loni Anderson in,
You had to have.
in Stroker Ace, the Burt Reynolds race car movie.
of course. Yeah,
where she played Pembroke Feeney.
yeah.
How the hell do you remember that? Pembroke Feeney.
Pembroke Feeney.
Sounds like some chick from Southie I used to know.
No, she was in Stroker Ace.
Pembroke Feeney.
Pembroke Feeney, and she talked like this. And she worked for Clyde Torkel's Chicken Company.
Did she prance around on her tiptoes so her boobs jiggled?
She did have a scene in there where she was wearing a lot of a nightie and negligee with
negligee.
with stockings and whatnot.
Really?
I think that's where her and Burt actually kind of hooked up. They met there, but they
He
weren't-
loved her.
He did. And when I met Burt Reynolds and I believe it was 1994 for the first time.
Very rarely have we met the same person.
He was doing People Are Talking over in WBZ.
Yeah.
And he was very polite to the hounds that were there. There was a lot of hounds there. And he goes, I will not sign anything that has me and Lonnie on it.
Oh,
so they're all giving him like People magazines, and he goes, I can't sign that. And he wasn't a jerk about it. He was just like very like apologetic.
He was heartbroken.
He's like, I can't sign that. Your old standby line. Well, the lawyer won't let me do it.
Yeah.
No, I just think he was just heartbroken. And he wanted his name anywhere associated with that.
I could see that.
So, but well, you know what? I met her. I wasn't married to her. She was very nice. I remember Bull was drooling when he said, "Of course, there's Lonnie." So rest in peace, Loni Anderson.
Yeah, that's a shame. Rest in peace.
Speaking of rest in peace, Howard Stern's radio career is resting in peace.
Oh, isn't that a shame? Howard the coward. He's going by the wayside. May he rest in peace. May his career. He should have went out on a high note. That's the problem with Howard Stern. Should have went out on a high note.
He should have went out like 20 years ago.
Yeah. And listen, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going on record now saying I was an incredibly huge fan of Howard
You were a
Stern.
diehard fan.
My friend and I, when he was supposed to sign at Laureate's Books in downtown Boston. Remember Laureate's used to be beneath Woolworth's?
I knew a kid named Laureate.
You don't remember Laureate's Books?
Wait a minute, isn't that the place where I got, I think I got Jimmy Carter signed there?
You might, yeah, Jimmy Carter signed there, Bill Spaceman
Downtown
Lee.
Crossing,
yes,
right?
yes.
Okay,
right
yes,
there,
I do know it is.
Laureate's Books.
Sure.
So he was supposed to sign there. My friend Mike and I were going to get up in the middle of the night and go, and it was in the winter, bitter cold. We were going to park my car there and just wait in the car and then jump out. So as soon as the line started getting long, we were going to get in the line. Right. We knew it was going to be long. And then he canceled because he had been doing so many book signings. He canceled. But, now I'd probably take that book and just throw it in the trash. But he created something that nobody else did. He did remarkable things. He brought in, he knew the right people to bring on board. Billy West, Jackie the Joke Man, Robin Quivers, Fred Norris, all these guys.
Fred the Elephant Boy.
Yeah,
Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf.
Eric the Midget, who was probably the king of all whack packers.
Crackhead Bob.
Crackhead and Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
And he just, what he created was absolutely amazing. And then he just woke up one day and just turned his back on all of it, as if it never existed.
Because he made all the money. He didn't need it anymore.
But he just could have still gone on and done a good radio show. You know what I would?
But he was looking for future aspirations. Oh, I want to be on as judge on a talent show. Oh, you know what?
But when he was doing that, he was still good.
Man.
He was. Then he got fired from that.
Oh, wow.
He did. Simon Cowell came back and took his spot. That was another reason why it was interesting, because you wanted to see what is he going to say now that Simon Cowell's back on that show. So you tune in just to hear Howard trash these guys, and he did. But then, he woke up. It was right around the time of COVID, no pun intended. He became very woke, and he just chastised people who were cautious about the vaccination. He chastised people who questioned things, and he basically said, "You're either with me or you're against me, and if you're against me, I hate you, and I don't want you listening."
Was he George Bush?
I don't know. But whatever. He just became a different person. And he's been that person for too long, and people are sick of it.
Well, he's also an old man now, too.
71 years old.
Well, same age as the Hulkster.
Yeah, but you know what? He could have still gone on and done some great radio, but he just chose to turn his back on his audience.
To me, my favorite incarnation of Howard Stern, I didn't listen to him on a regular basis like you did, or like South Boston Jeff used to, was his Channel 9 show, WWOR, which was on, Friday or Saturday nights. I think it went against Saturday Night Live.
Didn't they air it out on Channel 27 or something like that?
Maybe around here, but I had cable, and I used to watch him on Channel 9 out of Secaucus, New Jersey.
Yeah, you're right, because the Richard Bay show was on that channel.
And so was Morton Downey Jr.
Yes, okay, that was how I watched
So was Joe Franklin.
You're right.
But yeah, that's where I used to watch him.
And it was funny. It was trashy humor.
It was ridiculous, but it was awesome. But how old was I when that started? Probably I was just like a year out of high school, so I was 19 maybe.
Yep.
And I was watching that. I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Who would have the balls to have Richard Simmons on as a guest, take a fishing rod with a rotisserie chicken on it, and dangle it over Michael Habranco's?
Well, Michael Habranco used to have 22 bologna sandwiches for lunch every day.
His head. And he goes, "Now see this, Robin? I want you to see. Notice how he's not tempted. Richard, you did a really good job." He would say. And Richard would go, "I can't believe you're doing this, Howard. I can't believe you're doing this." And Michael Habranco was like, "This is very embarrassing. It's embarrassing." And there's a chicken swinging over his head. Now, as bad as that is, it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
And that's why he was the king of all media.
I learned two things on that show. The Brother P-Touch.
The what?
The Brother P-Touch. You know, the label maker?
Yeah.
That and Snapple.
Oh, that's right. Yes,
Right.
that was his huge sponsor.
Right.
For the
Those are the
longest
two
time.
things that
made from the best stuff on earth.
Well, then he had all those natural Snapple models that were coming out there. All those girls from New Jersey.
I mean, and then he went over to satellite, and the show just took on a whole new life over there. I mean, he really did accomplish so much, but it's just, I look at him now and I'm like, I don't care. I will say this, I do go back and I listen to the old shows sometimes on YouTube. They have them broken down into little segments. And there's nothing like hearing him fight with Eric the Midget or hearing him and Artie laughing. When Artie Lang made him laugh, I mean, Howard really laughed. But those days are gone. He's just such a phony now. He's an elite Hollywood ass kisser, and he's just a woke shill.
A woke shill.
Yeah, I mean, out there. Whenever I saw him show up on Ellen DeGeneres' show, Dancing with her, remember she used to come out and
Right.
She used to do
well,
it.
I never watched the show. I knew that she did.
And
that.
the clips came out of him doing it. I'm like, no, this is he's gonna like put her in a headlock or something. No, he leaned over and kissed her on the cheek, and then he made up with that asshole Rosie O'Donnell.
Well, maybe he'll join her in Ireland.
Well, why don't just go, Howard. And you're not going to go quietly. He's going to spin this somehow to say, I'm not being canceled. I'm not. That's not what it is at all. But you know what? Sirius is like, screw it.
Maybe him and Stephen Colbert can start their own late night talk show on YouTube.
Oh, you know what, Howard? Steve, come on down here. We'll set you up with the microphones and everything, because God knows no one else is going to give them to you.
You think that's a wig?
Absolutely. And he says he doesn't dye his hair, and that's not a wig. And he's 71 years old.
Right.
Lion sack, you know what?
Unbelievable.
I'm sorry. He's just tarnished his reputation as far as I'm concerned.
I know you take this very, very personally, because he was sort of a mentor to you.
He just was. I would get up in the morning dying to find out what he was going to say. And one of the most compelling shows he did was the day of 9/11.
I've listened to that one a few times.
Fantastic.
He was talking about him trying to pick up Pamela Anderson
Yeah.
at like Scores or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, boom, the planes hit and all that.
And he had
stuff.
staff members that left and ran home.
Was it Crazy Cabbie or something was
Crazy
down
Cabbie was there. You got Casey there who ran. He just got out of New Manhattan. Robin ended up getting a ride home from Scott the Engineer in his cigarette-addled car. And he went bowling that night. Scott the Engineer. He went to the bowling alley and he's like,
there was no one there.
Why is nobody here? Like, have you watched television today? He goes, yeah, but that's in Manhattan. This is New Jersey.
Didn't he also get someone from not jumping off the George Washington Bridge?
Yeah, he talked a jumper down and everything. This is all great stuff. And like I said, I would get up in the morning. What is he going to say?
But this is also 25 years ago.
Yeah. I remember the day when I found out he had gotten divorced or separated from his wife and they were going through the divorce. I was like, what is he going to say as soon as the mics go live? I mean, I got up and it's in the morning. And the first thing he said was, all broads line up. That's what he said, because now he was single. All broads line up. And then he talked about it.
How much did she get out of that?
Oh, she got the house. She got the dog. Another guy's living there. That used to burn his ass. It used to burn his ass big time. But you know what? Multi-billionaire, really, probably. I mean, God only knows.
He's making $100 million a year.
Yeah.
So,
now,
I don't justify that payday.
I don't either, but you know what? They gave it to him.
Well, maybe because they wanted Sirius Radio to be like this in thing. That was also 20 years ago.
Sirius was great, though. I mean, when he announced that he was going over,
right.
I had to have it. We got a lifetime subscription and paid $650 for it. $650.
$650
back when it first came out.
Now isn't it free now?
No, you gotta pay. You still gotta pay like $12.99 a month.
But now everybody is on Spotify.
But it's paid for. I still listen to Sirius. Sirius is great.
I've never had a radio subscription.
I absolutely love my Sirius satellite. They got a Beatles channel. They got an Elvis channel. They got a Jimmy Buffett channel.
Well, so does Pandora.
They probably do, but I'm just like, I have Sirius.
I remember when they were actually talking about this, Quincy and I were on a road trip for Restani Productions. In its infancy, we were going down to Connecticut to pick up those speakers, remember?
Like yesterday.
Yeah, well, it was longer than that. I think it was like right before he was going to make the jump to Sirius, and we were listening to him on terrestrial radio, and we were driving down to Connecticut, like deep in Connecticut, almost near Vince McMahon headquarters.
Now, who were these speakers you were picking up?
No, the stereo speakers.
Oh, I thought you were sorry.
Actually, they're still in the bag. You know those giant black ones we have?
Oh.
Quincy, this is a funny story.
I thought you were bringing up two guys that were going to speak about
No.
I'm not too sharp.
No, obviously not. You were paying how much for a lifetime subscription to Sirius?
Listen, it paid for itself. How can you say that?
How does it pay for itself?
Because I got the radio, I got everything.
All right, fine. If you enjoyed it, then
yes,
all the power to you.
I God damn it! Make me upset. Now I'm eating another French fry.
Well, you can put a little bit of salt on it.
I did. I put salt on the. I dip in the salt.
So Quincy and I, we rented a van, like an old school club van, and we drove down. We left at 4 a.m.
Jesus Christ Almighty!
No, it was 4 a.m, and it was on a Friday, and we drove down. This was an eBay purchase that one of the producers down here, and I had the corporate card, so I was the only one who could go down and get them.
Wow.
So we drove down, and we had to get Quincy's giant coffee. Remember that giant coffee in the morning?
Like it was yesterday.
Right. Now, Quincy doesn't drive, so I had to drive down all the way. This is like 45 minutes outside of New York
I
City.
thought you were on the back of the bike.
No. Driving all the way down there, and it was kind of raining and snowing a little bit.
Ooh.
And we get down there, and it was at someone's home. And I sent Quincy up to go knock on the door, and then we pulled the van up to their garage, and they didn't have a forklift, so Quincy had to actually lift the things because obviously I'm not doing that. And
Thank God for you.
And then we stopped, and where did we eat that day, Quincy? You remember that?
Somewhere for coffee and...
Oh, that's right. I remember. We did. We stopped. You just wanted... His thing was, I just want coffee, and then when we get back, I want a roast beef sandwich from Billy's.
Nice.
So we did that trip in record time. We left at 4 a.m, and we pulled back here at the studio before noon.
That's good.
We hustled down, got the goods, and hustled back. It was kind of like...
back, and we put gas in the truck.
Well, I had to because we were stopped, but it's kind of reminded me of the Smokey and the Bandit run. We actually did it in record time.
Very important.
It was very important.
Eastbound and
Down,
So
rolling up my truck.
When did he start on Sirius? Was that like 2005 or something?
That could be it, yeah, because I know Artie Lang I think took off in 2009. So yeah,
Okay, I think this was around 2004.
that would make sense.
It was 2004, maybe like, I'm going to say like November or early December of 2004.
But I mean, even that, when he left, he left terrestrial radio in such a grand way. Like he'd say, okay, so-and-so, like Gary, his producer, went down first. And the crowd, you could hear the crowd noise. He's out on the street. And they were on a big flatbed truck. And they would leave the air one by one until the last person in the studio was Howard. And he signed off and said goodbye. And he goes downstairs. And they're giving out the Sirius radios to people in the audience. And the flatbed, I think. And they were either on a flatbed or they drove, but I think they were on a flatbed. They, again, just handing out Sirius radios to people. And they went down to the new building. And they got off and they walked into the new building. That's how they did it.
Wow.
Very dramatic. I mean, he knew he had such a great brain.
The man was a visionary. Not taking anything away from that.
No.
He changed the way people listen to radio.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm going to use Vince McMahon as an example because I just brought him up. When your time is over, take a hike.
Yeah.
All right?
And he should have taken it.
All right. You have all the money that you're ever going to need for 1,000 lifetimes.
Yeah.
You're 71 years old. You're not hip anymore.
Yeah.
In fact, a lot of I remember he got upset maybe there's like a year or so ago that some of the athletes had no idea who he was.
Yeah.
The young kids.
Yeah, the young kids. Joe Rogan is their hero for crying out loud. You know? They're not Howard Stern. And he couldn't understand why he wasn't getting courtside seats anymore. He never understood the game of basketball anyway. He just liked to go on. He wouldn't even stay for the whole game. But he just gradually turned into more of a douchebag. And it just
He turned into Imus.
He did, and he used to just rip Imus apart. Everything he ripped Imus apart, everything he ripped celebrities apart for, he became. And it's just sad because I'm just really thrilled. And I always say to myself, what's it going to be like when there's no more Howard Stern? No, I don't care because I haven't listened to him since COVID broke out.
Wow, that's 5 years.
Yeah.
Almost 5.5 years.
When I tell you I listened every single day.
I know. I remember back in the day.
And just enjoyed it.
You would call me
much.
up. Hey, TC, did you listen to Howard? I go, do you think I'm up? I'm not up. I'm not an early
For
riser.
the first few years, or first however long, he was on at night on BCN because they couldn't play him in the day because he was off. That would have meant, Charles Laquadera, who was that kind of the same thing. He was on the downslide then. So he stepped aside and Howard stepped into there and 6 months or whatever.
They're not Norm Nathan. Let's just put it that way.
No. They moved Chuck over to 101.7 WZLX and Howard took over the morning on WBCN. That was huge in radio.
I'm sure it was.
Biggest station in Boston. He was in the morning.
I was still listening.
Syndicated out of New York City. Howard Stern in Boston.
WNBC.
WNBC. But I will not miss him. And I think he turned his back on the people that gave him all that money and fame. And, he can go screw himself as far as I'm concerned.
I met actually one of the members of the Whack Pack. I actually had several encounters with this person.
Yeah?
Fred the Elephant Boy.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
He was involved in wrestling.
Right, big time.
Back in the day. And when we used to go down and do shows in New Jersey, Fred was there.
Yeah.
One of the weirdest experiences I've ever had and most disgusting things I've ever seen in my entire
I knew
life
that was coming.
was Fred is no longer with us, right? I think Fred's gone.
I think he is. Jeez, that's funny you should say that. I'm not sure.
All right. Fred was an outstanding guy.
I'm gonna look that up.
I mean, he was a pleasure to be around.
Yes.
He wasn't a jerk or anything like that.
Gary used to say that all the time.
But never go out to dinner with Fred and his brother, Iceberg Slim, watching them eat clam chowder.
Yeah, that mouth.
All right? To this day, I dry heave thinking of that. That's almost 30 years ago that had happened down in, I think it was in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And it was an interesting night, to say the least.
Yeah, he passed at the end of 2022. Why didn't I know that?
Because you weren't listening anymore.
Yeah,
That's
Jesus.
why. And Hank the Angry Drunk, say that again.
Hank the Angry Drunken Dwarf.
He lived down at Fall River, right?
Yeah.
Right.
You run into him?
I've never ran into him.
I ran into him. Gary did a signing when Private Parts came out.
So it's 97.
And he did a signing at a Blockbuster Video over on Western Ave in Alston. And my friend and I went over there to check it out. And somebody gave us passes to the movie that night. It wasn't Gary. Oh, it was Chachi LaPrette was there. And Chachi, he was from BCN. He gave us passes to see the Stern movie that night. There were special printed tickets. I have it somewhere. So we got to go into the, I think it might have been Coolidge Corner or whatever. And we got to see the Private Parts because you couldn't get tickets to it. It was the first night it was shown in Boston. But Gary had Hank with him. And Hank was another one who was just an absolute great whack packer. Some of the stuff that
go have sex with your mother.
Yeah. If you put your brains into a bird, it would fly upside down. You got the brains of a retarded quahog. That was as big as
the brain thing with the bird. That's a Captain Lou Albano line.
Well, he was probably a wrestling fan. I'm
sure. Obviously, he was
a smart man.
Because if he lives in Fall River, the Bank Street Armory in Fall River used to have wrestling down there all the time.
Okay.
So unbelievable. I know Jeff was a huge fan of Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice was one of the best.
He actually had a little bust of Beetlejuice.
Oh, he had one of those. Those are rare.
Right.
Jeez. Jesus.
I don't know where that is.
Yeah, that would have been something.
About. Wink, wink. I don't know what that is.
That would have been something to grab.
I think he may have met Beetlejuice.
Probably. He did a lot of appearances.
I mean, my favorite Beetlejuice stories are the ones of him and the Iron Sheik rooming together.
Oh, yeah. Iron Sheik used to say, his shit in the bathtub.
Oh, he hated Beetlejuice.
He did.
I remember he was down here. What was the sub you got him that night?
He wanted a large Italian cold cut sub.
Right. He's a Muslim. He can't eat anything.
Filled with ham.
Right. He didn't care. And I think you started asking him about Beetlejuice, and he's eating his up. Piece of shit.
Oh, listen, I have a lot of great memories from Stern. I'll thank him for that, but he just really turned into a shitheel.
And what are all his cast of characters, that are on the show? What are they going to do?
That's a great question.
I mean, they must have millions upon millions by now.
They don't get paid that much. I mean, Sal and Richard they're under $100,000 a year. I mean,
what about Robin? She must have a fortune.
She's all set. Don't worry about her.
Gary must have a ton of dough, too.
Gary, Robin, Howard, and Fred are all set.
Right.
Anyone else, it's, they're going to have to find new jobs. And there's some young, but he does have a guy that works for him, does some writing and producing. His name is Jason Kaplan. And I always said that if anyone could fill Howard Stern's shoes, it would be this kid. He's really shrewd, he's really honest, and he's really cutting. And I could almost see him taking something over and making something out of himself.
See, the serious radio business, you don't need radio anymore because anybody can have a podcast these days.
Exactly.
I mean, are you going to make money off it? Well, Joe Rogan makes $100 million a year. Yeah. And I'm sure if you have the goods, someone will hire you.
Absolutely.
Which, hey, by the way, we're available.
Yeah, right. All this entertainment.
We'll do it for $100. What are you talking about?
Steak
fries. I noticed the ones at the steak fries today, Quincy. They were a little undercooked. They didn't seem like they were crispy or anything.
I'm a fan of that, actually. You too?
No, U2 is a band. No, sorry.
Sometimes when they're too crispy, they just...
In the game of love.
One more in the game of love.
But when they're not crispy like that, they're kind of like mashed potato sticks.
Nothing wrong with that.
No,
ask them to cook them longer.
They're your steak fries. Why should I call them up and ask them to cook them longer?
That could be a kick in the ass. You got to be careful.
I don't know. like I said, these things, I'm playing a guessing game. But most places you go to, aren't they just like Idaho potatoes cut up or sliced onions cut up, and you put them in what, like I said, shortening gets melted into boiling
Didn't
oil.
we talk about this last week with the onion?
Yeah.
rings?
So I'm just
I was going to sing
recapping.
shortening bread. That's what made me remember.
Oh, shortening, and it's all this is boiling oil, and you cook it for like maybe 10, 15
That's great.
minutes.
What's another topic? While he was Chef Boyardee over here.
180. I know. Just playing a guessing game.
That's great.
350. I don't know.
All right. Well, what about 450? You can get it done quicker.
Well,
Oh, now you're going into the wrong area.
no, 350
He
for
draws the
about
line at
maybe
450.
7 minutes. Just a guessing
7
game.
minutes. Okay. Well,
Just a guessing game.
all right. So is anything that comes out of your mouth is a guessing game.
Well, when you're not a cook, you sort of take a guessing game on how you cook fries.
They're
and
not really a
onion
cook. You're frying them up.
Yeah, it's trial and error.
You just
Yeah.
put them in the grease and just let them sit there. And when they shake them out, when they're done, you're done.
I sometimes make little fries for myself at home. I put them in the toaster oven.
Not the air fryer.
No, just put them in the toaster oven, bake them on a sheet.
Wow.
A little salt and pepper, a little Italian seasoning, then nice.
Well, how long does that take in a toaster oven?
Well, about 20, 30 minutes or whatever. Maybe I'm not sure. I don't really do it this time of year.
All right. Well,
In some
But
places,
you don't have to put them in oil. You can just bake them in the toaster oven, and they
There you
come out
go.
quite good.
There you go. And like I say, some places will tell you what potatoes are, and some of them won't.
yeah, from Idaho, I heard that.
Yeah.
What's on that list over there?
Well, I just wanted to make note that Hulk Hogan was laid to rest on the 5th of August at Indian Rocks Baptist Church in Lago,
Easy for
Florida.
you to say.
Yeah, it was a tough one. And guests, or I guess attendees, not really guests, included Ric Flair, Stephanie McMahon, Bam Margera, who we'll talk about in a minute, Theo Vaughn, Triple H, Vince McMahon, Kid Rock, and Dennis Rodman, and more.
I'm surprised Vince McMahon actually showed up.
I am kind of too, yeah.
This just proves that he realized that without Hulk Hogan, he wouldn't be a billionaire today.
Yeah.
And it shows that he has some sort of heart.
And it's probably a good PR move for him to go, and it's probably good for him to get out there and just maybe.
This may be the first time he's actually seen Stephanie and Triple H in a long time.
Yeah, it's
Wonder if they exchanged hellos.
it's a tough one. I'm a big fan of burying the hatchet.
Where was Brutus Beefcake?
He was accusing Brutus of stealing from him and all that. So I think there was Brutus probably just said, "Yeah, I'm just going."
And his daughter wasn't even there.
Well,
Brooke.
she had. First of all, I heard from her that she was like, "I don't have anything to do with them. It doesn't matter to me. My mother's on drugs. She's saying all this stuff. I don't care."
Her mother's a nutcase.
She is.
Linda.
And then she's saying, "This. My father always thought funerals were morbid. He would not want this." And we tried to tell his wife, Sky or whatever her name is, not to do this, but she didn't listen. So I don't know. It's just. But I'm a big fan of bury the hatchet. If you can. And don't wait too long to do it, because stuff like this happens. She'll never, ever have that opportunity to take her dad's hand and say, "Look, let's just forget about this. Would you like to meet your grandchildren? Let's go."
Did they ever meet?
I don't think so. According to Linda McMahon, again, not Linda McMahon, Linda Hogan or whatever the hell her name is.
Brooke?
She, the mother.
Linda.
She
Crazy
said
Linda.
The daughter had children and they never saw the kids. She never brought them to see
Well, I
them.
saw a picture of them. They're at the beach instead of going to Hogan's wake
Yeah,
and whatnot.
yeah.
These kids look like they were born like last year or maybe even earlier this year.
They're very young, yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
They're twins, I think.
and they're saying supposedly something to do with like they didn't want him to marry her, this woman he's with now, and that was the falling out.
Wasn't she a Scientologist or something?
I think, yeah, that I remember reading that.
Because Hogan just got baptized last year.
Yeah, oh yeah, big time, yeah.
But whatever.
That's definitely a conflict there, born again Christian and Scientology. But
I thought
hell?
you get baptized long before last year.
That's if you're Catholic.
yeah, as a Catholic, you get baptized as an infant.
A lot of people
But-
I know don't get baptized until they're an adult.
But sometimes when you're born again, you get baptized again.
So how come Hulk waited so long?
Because he wasn't Catholic.
Yeah, he probably wasn't Catholic, and he might have been. And even if you're Catholic, becoming a born again Christian is not the same as being a Catholic. That's a whole different ball of wax. Because I knew a dude when I worked at the razor blade factory. He was born a Catholic in South Boston. He was born again, so baptized differently in the eyes of God. It's very confusing religion.
I'm going to paradise, and that's what counts. All of us.
Why don't you go right now, and we can get back to the list of people who were at Hulk
Paradise by
Hogan's
the Dashboard
wedding.
Light.
Wedding? I said wedding. Yeah, funeral.
It was as beautiful as a wedding. Ric Flair went on to remark,
Woo!
even in heaven, he sold out again. The most beautiful funeral I've ever attended. Everyone was there. That was his, he shared this on X. The whole world showed up to pay respect to the greatest of them all. Rest in peace, Hulkster.
Was the Undertaker there?
I don't know. He might have been.
Can I have a little fun? Rest in peace, brother.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, brother.
Rest in peace.
Everyone misses you in the world of wrestling, brother.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's unbelievable, Quincy. I mean, you know, he is somewhere in heaven right now going, you know, Quincy Briscoe just said, rest in peace, brother.
And what about that cloud formation?
That was eerie.
You
Now,
know,
you texted it to me, and I had already seen that.
Yeah.
Bam, what's his face from, what is it, Jackass?
Bam Margera.
Bam Margera, who was very good friends, from I heard, with the Hulkster.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Was outside of the funeral, and if you can see the picture on the screen, I don't know if this is AI or whatever, but a lot of people said they saw it as well. The cloud formation looks like Hulk Hogan posing.
Yeah, the classic pose.
Right.
The one hand behind his head and the other one just sort of shooting off into the stratosphere.
Right.
But it was a beautiful thing.
Maybe Hulk, you know, needed to take one last bow.
Yeah, listen, that is eerie. But, you know, like you were saying earlier, in the days of AI, who knows? But I don't know. I don't think it was faked.
Well, even if someone did create an act, it's a wonderful gesture.
Yeah, it really is.
You know,
and they didn't overdo it because you got to really look at it and like, damn, look at that.
I mean, he wasn't ripping the shirt or anything.
You would have saw that immediately. 'Cause
What,
you,
rip it?
you
Yeah.
see those things.
Unfortunately, I kind of do.
You do. You see things in like the bubbles in a drink and stuff like
Right,
that. I
yeah.
always, or the way a salad was. I remember what was it?
Sigmund.
Yeah,
Yeah. They look like Sigmund from Sigmund and the Sea Monsters.
Sea monsters, yeah.
And one of the times I had one of my smoothies, and in the it was a strawberry banana junk smoothie, and the image that was in the glass, I mean, there was a million images because I drank it all and there was still residue on it. It looked like Obi-Wan Kenobi with his hood on. And I actually did a comparison, and people said I have way too much time on my hands, but
I hate to love when people say that. Oh, you have so much time on your hands to do that. You know, you. It's a gift to see things. To have insight and to see things is a gift.
okay.
You see other things. You get messages and stuff. You're open to signals and stuff like that. That's what it is.
I'm in broadcasting.
I'm talking about the spirituality. You won't admit it. You don't admit it, but you are. You're open. See?
Right.
You're closed.
No, he's not. He's deep fried. He's deep fried.
You're
over
closed
there.
for repairs. And me, I don't know what's going on. So, but I don't see those things the way you do.
I don't know if you call it a gift. I'll take it as your word for it.
It is.
But you know, maybe I
I
wish
just hate when people say, "Oh, look, you have too much time on your hands." You know, just
I wish I could see the lottery numbers.
yeah, that would be a real gift, wouldn't it?
Right. I did that once as a kid. You know, I kind of freaked out my grandfather.
Yeah.
I was just sitting there, and I was sitting on their porch and just kept rattling off numbers and whatnot. And I remember he goes, "Let's go down to the
You have to, yeah.
the spa." That was the name of the corner convenience store, the spa.
He's a gambler.
And I remember I climbed through my grandfather's window because the Dukes of Hazzard was very popular at the time. And we went down there, and I was one number off.
Wow.
So,
I picked all 4 numbers once.
did you?
I was working in a supermarket, and I just had a thing, and I went up and I played it, and I think I won like $300, which was pretty good.
Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
No, it was just 4 random numbers. And I also picked the Kentucky Derby winners a few times.
Wow.
And the last one I picked was a few years ago, Malice Palace. And everyone goes, "How did you pick the winner?" I said, "Because the Three Stooges have a short called Malice in the Palace. That's the only reason."
Why you? Why you? Why you?
Maybe next year when I go to AVN, I'll pick the winner for Best Anal Queen.
Oh, well, yeah.
You know?
How many entries would you think there'd be? No pun
I think
intended.
there's 4.
Really?
Yeah. You know, it's like an Academy Award.
Do they still have those?
I have not been to an AVN award show in well over 10 years.
Do they have them?
Yeah, they do. Because you know why I know this? Because months later, I think they're taped in January, like the first couple weeks in January,
Yeah.
and then they air on Showtime.
Yeah.
At like 4 a.m,
Yeah.
like starting in April. And I'm so far removed from that industry. I don't know anybody that's in it. I mean, honestly, in that industry, you start off young. You're like 18, 19, 20
Yeah,
years
yeah,
old.
yeah.
I have no clue who some of these people are.
But I mean, without video like DVDs,
It's all streaming. It's not like Brazzers and all that other stuff.
so they're getting awards for their streaming.
Well, they're getting award for their performances.
In
But their distribution now is streaming. You know, no one goes and buys, a DVD or a VHS anytime.
that sucks.
Remember the VHS porno boxes?
Oh yeah.
They look like Stouffer's. Like you're gonna have like a lasagna in it.
100%. That's good. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I mean, the boxes were huge.
yeah, and those flimsy black trays.
Black trays in there.
Yeah.
And I was looking at it and go, I ate some lasagna out of one of these the other night before. So maybe the adult industry and Stouffer's had a little deal going on for those
I'll tell you,
trays.
somebody who was dabbled in the print industry, they were talking about high gloss finish on that stuff. That's what you call a gloss varnish on all that stuff. That's
Whose
expensive.
gloss was it, though?
But really, there was a high, and then afterwards, of course, then with DVDs. But then they started getting the VHS was just a regular box,
Right.
But those big boxes, I remember
Those big boxes, I mean, they put a lot of work into those.
Yeah,
I mean, those were highly detailed VHSs of the day.
Like the whole idea of features, though. Remember, like there was real movies.
Sure.
There's just none
The
of that
spoofs
anymore.
were my favorite.
Yeah, I wasn't a big spoof guy, but
Then they went gonzo, and it was just scenes of people doing it.
yeah. Like New Wave Hookers was a great one.
Who was in that one? Do you remember who was in that?
Well, Amber Lynn, Ginger Lynn,
Of course, the Lins.
Tom Byron, TT Boy. The fact I know this is so disgusting.
What are you channeling Glenn right now?
And do you know who else was in it? Was Styx Downey, the guy who played was a Styx Downey on Happy Days.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was
Unbelievable.
he was in that one too, and he looked like he was.
Tom Byron is making these movies since 1982, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
What is that, 43 years?
Yeah, that's all he knows.
TT Boy.
Stick with what you know.
TT Boy has this really bad podcast, and I only watch it because he interviewed Paul Thomas when he died.
Oh, okay.
Paul Thomas was everywhere, so I watch it. And he's horrible.
Yeah.
And TT Boy, his real name's Phil something.
Phil.
Yeah, I can't stand TT Boy. I ran into him a bunch of times, and I told Glenn. Glenn hates TT Boy.
He's just jealous.
Glenn wanted to beat. He goes, I want to beat him with an oar.
Wow.
I don't know what TT Boy did to piss him off.
TT Boy always reminded me of Buff Bagwell for some reason. Or Buff Bagwell reminded me of TT Boy.
But TT Boy has both legs, though.
I know, that's sad.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give Buff Bagwell credit. He was a dickhead way back in the day because who was his best friend was Lex Luger.
Yeah.
So it kind of rubbed off. But give that guy credit. He was in a car accident like 5 years ago, and his leg got totally mangled.
Mm-hmm.
And rather than living with the pain, he got it amputated.
Wow.
And he's out there doing videos saying, "I'm buffing up the stuff, and I'm going to be signing." So give the guy credit.
Hey, you can go one way or the other.
Right.
Might as well take the time you got left and spread some joy and make people happy.
And with today's prosthetics and whatnot, he'll be up walking and doing that little buff strut.
He'll be running around Chiller Theater in a year from now.
A year from now, probably in October. What are you talking about?
Speaking of wrestling and Buff
Wrestling?
Bagwell, remember Will Sasso, the guy that does?
Yeah, he was on Mad TV.
Yes, and he's a very huge wrestling.
He does a good Jesse Ventura.
He does all wrestlers.
Right.
And I was watching this clip the other day when he said he was at WrestleMania 19 and Scott Hall was there, and he goes, after the event, we're all in bars and stuff. We're all going out afterwards for drinks and whatnot and doing this and that, hanging out. And he goes, so I went to this bar, and Razor's in there, Scott Hall. And he goes, I'll never forget it. He goes, I'm at the bar. Now, Sasso's a big dude, he's a heavy guy. And he goes, all of a sudden he hears from across the bar, "Hey, Sasso, you look like the kind of guy that could do coke and eat." Which was... and he just busted out laughing because it is still a great line. He goes because he says, "Cause I'm so fat." He said, "You can do coke and eat."
Remember when he was the Greek guy on Shameless? Remember he got lit
That's
on
right.
He got lit on fire in the
he lit on
wheelchair.
fire. Oh my God, that's right. It was Will Sasso.
And the two lesbian couples, the two Lisas moved into the neighborhood, and they were bitching at him because of his dogs.
That's right.
And his motorcycles and whatnot.
Oh, that was horrible when they lit him on fire. I was like, am I seeing this right now? I miss Shameless. Damn, I should watch that again.
But yes, Will Sasso actually had a wrestling program, which in wrestling terms is a storyline, with Bret the Hitman Hart.
Really?
Yeah, I think they actually fought Bret for the United States Championship on a Nitro or a pay-per-view back in the day.
I must have
no
seen
wonder
it.
They're out of business.
Yeah.
I mean, of all people, Bret Hart. I mean, this guy was the excellence of execution, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Yes.
And he's in the ring right now with Will Sasso. But you know what? I think Brett was trying to weasel into Hollywood at that point in time because he had a guest spot on The Simpsons, on Lonesome Dove, and a bunch of other shit. So maybe he wanted to get on. Actually, I think he did make an appearance on Mad TV where he put Will Sasso, where they were breaking the storyline, the kayfabe, where he put Will Sasso in the sharpshooter.
Oh, I remember seeing that. Yes, it was on Mad TV. I remember seeing it was supposed to be like it wasn't supposed to happen.
Right.
Whatever.
Bret Hart crashed the studio and just put Will Sasso in a.
I do remember seeing that.
Whatever.
Vividly.
That was, and you think about that's almost 30 years ago. That was like 98.
Depressing me, man.
It is kind of depressing when you really think about it.
But we're still here.
Barely.
Oh, come on. God forgive you.
Unbelievable. What are you staring at over there?
Are you undressing us with your eyes?
Are you envisioning us being deep fried or something?
No.
You sure? You sure?
I'm just can't. Come up with 2 clips. I'll talk to you later about.
Oh, let's do it later. Much later.
I can't wait.
Well, no, they're good ideas. I'll talk to you about them later.
I'm sure they're great ideas. Speaking of great ideas, did you see the woman caught the alien on her doorbell?
I did.
That's creepy.
I did see that.
Yep.
It didn't creep me out as much as the alien that you saw in Signs.
Oh, God, yeah. When you first saw that?
I jumped. I literally jumped. I was like Joaquin Phoenix going, oh!
Yeah, they played that perfectly. Great movie, by the way. Great movie.
That's probably my favorite M. Night Shyamalan film.
Yeah, he didn't really do much after that, did he?
He did that one about the village, where the blind girl.
Yeah, I couldn't get into that one.
Spoiler, and I'm going to spoil it because that movie
ahead.
was stupid. It was supposed to take place back in 1600s or something.
Yeah, but weren't they like a detached village or something?
Yeah, but they were an experiment that was actually taking place in the 20th century. So it was stupid.
And that stupid one with the Happening, was it? Where people were killing themselves?
Never saw that.
Oh, dude, the worst part about it, right? Betty Buckley is in it. Remember Betty Buckley from Eight Is Enough?
Eight Is Enough,
Okay.
and Carrie.
So she's in a farmhouse somewhere. And it's basically all these people, they're facing this Armageddon-like situation, and Mark Wahlberg, of all the worst actors in the world, him and a couple, and a woman and a kid, they're trying to find their way across whatever, and they're going all this places.
Wasn't it in Pennsylvania? Everything seems to be in Pennsylvania.
That sounds
with that
about
guy.
right. And they came across this farmhouse, and she's living in there, and she's really weird and everything. And he's trying to calm her down. And this is my bad Mark Wahlberg imitation. He's coming up to her, and she's like, "Hey, you get away from my house. You get away from here." And he's going, No, I'm a teacher. You remember me? We talked. I'm a teacher. That's how he said, I'm a teacher.
How old is Betty Buckley? She's been around. Carrie was what, almost
She was old in this one.
50 years ago?
She was old in this one, but
And then she was on Eight Is Enough right after John Travolta's girlfriend that died.
yeah, she wasn't a good replacement for her. She was cute, the girlfriend, Travolta's girl.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, not Betty Buckley. No,
No,
way.
not Betty Buckley.
And you know what her name was on that show?
Betty. Abby?
It was Abby.
Really? Yeah, that's right. Now I can
It
hear
was indeed.
I can hear him say that now.
He was always an annoying bastard on that show. Tom Bradford. Dick Van Patten.
You think so?
He was always like he has to take a really bad crap.
I never noticed that, but
Yeah.
you might be right. I always hated his friend there, the doctor. But I get what you're saying.
Oh, the guy with the mustache.
yeah, he was a big mope.
Yeah, he was a good. Who would go to that guy?
Oh, no, he looked like he was dirty. Look like he didn't wash his hands after wiping his ass. That's the impression I got from him.
Maybe he was a proctologist.
Yeah, well, that would be even worse.
Because 8 is enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
we go back and watch some of those reruns. He was always like, Nicholas, stop doing that.
That's true.
And Tommy.
Well, he did have 8 kids, for Christ's sakes. And his first wife died, and then he's like hooked up with her.
Right.
And Tommy didn't take to her at all right off the bat.
No, of course not.
And he was giving her a lot of shit.
And then they had to jump the shark because they were running out of the 8 is enough people.
Ralph Macchio.
That's right. The pre-karate kid shows up. Now just think about it. If that show at one point in time had Luke Skywalker as the original David.
Right.
And Ralph Macchio,
The original
the
Karate
Karate Kid. Imagine if they had the DeLorean and figured this out. They would never have let Mark Hamill leave that show.
If Tom drove a DeLorean, that would have really been it.
Or he could have. Well, he did kind of drive David kind of drove the Libyan van. Remember
That's
that?
true, yeah,
that piece
yeah,
of shit
yeah.
Volkswagen bus that he had
There's a plate of homemade wishes, Quincy.
on the kitchen windowsill.
Kitchen windowsill.
Yeah.
What is Grant
Homemade
Goodeve
wishes.
doing these
That's
days?
a good question. Now, why is he not at Chilla?
I have no idea. Well, Willie Ames has done Chilla before.
If we can get Eddie Deason for $25, how much is Grant Goodeve asking for?
Maybe some of Quincy's steak fries. The last thing I saw Grant Goodeve in, he was the driving instructor for License to Drive. Remember the one with the Corys?
Oh, dear God, yeah.
That was the last thing I saw. And that came out in 1988. So you're talking, almost 30 years that I have not seen Grant Goodeve. I'm sure he'll pop up in some
Grant Goodeve,
some Hallmark movie or some nonsense. But he did sing the theme song for season 2 and onward on that.
There's a plate of homemade wishes on the kitchen windowsill. 8 is enough
to fill our lives with love. He was a punk on that show.
Yeah, I was never a big David fan,
Yeah, sitting there drinking his little beer, driving his hunk of shit, because he was a construction worker
and a guitarist,
and he had his wife there was the lawyer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
What was her name on that show? I should know this.
Yeah, I can't remember.
It was ridiculous, and they got a divorce, and it was just like, you know what? I don't care.
Tommy was sneaking up, grabbing her underwear. Giving her a good whiff.
You think Tommy did that?
Oh, of course he did.
Tommy's not that tall.
All the more reason he had to sniff underwear. I mean, geez.
I asked him once.
If he sniffed underwear?
No, I didn't ask him that. But I asked him at the Chiller convention. He had a cast photo on the table. And I go, which one did you mix up a batch to?
Yeah.
And he just pointed to the blonde girl that was in 1941.
Oh, okay.
Diane Kay.
Yeah. Very good actress, by the way, in 1941. I was listening to a podcast the other day that Quentin Tarantino was singing the praises of 1941.
Oh, I think he's saying the praises of 8 is Enough.
No, but he mentioned her in particular and how great and underrated 1941 really is.
I'll have to give it a viewing again as an adult. I have not seen that in well over 30 years.
And he said, if you watch it closely, Spielberg, that whole dance number in 1941 was kind of a precursor to the dance number in Temple of Doom, which Tarantino is a huge fan of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Very underrated. I mean, Raiders is my favorite.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch, when I saw Temple of Doom in 1984, I was 13 years old. Didn't appreciate it.
Yeah.
It was very dark, and that opening dance number, I've kind of like felt embarrassed watching it.
Exactly.
And now, as an adult, I would have to say it's never going to beat Raiders.
No.
But it's my second favorite Indiana Jones movie.
And he said what people don't appreciate with Spielberg. Now, he's coming off the heels of Close Encounters doing 1941, and he's doing this overblown dance number, and then he does it again in Temple of Doom, and you see how much he's learned as a director between those two films. And he said that whole dance sequence that people criticize so much in Temple of Doom, he says that's a huge undertaking. And he says it was done flawlessly. He said, as a film director, he's looking at that going, he marvels at that whole thing.
Because anything goes.
Yeah, that's right. It's a great song.
Now, watching that when I was 13 years old, I was like, where is this ballroom in the Club Obi-Wan?
Yeah.
I mean, they disappear through the dragon's mouth. And then they're in this like empty, cavernous, black, like Broadway stage.
Suspend your disbelief.
And all the girls looked exactly the same.
Yeah. I miss those days. I think I was kind of like, if there's such a thing as reincarnation, I think I might have lived around those times, because I would love to go to like nightclubs like that where there's a big show and a live band and there's waiters in tuxedos and everything.
Well, that was 1935 Shanghai.
And everyone's dressed real cool, like the old gangster movies with Jimmy Cagney and stuff. They all go into these clubs and everybody's just like decked out. And anyone gets shot at any minute. How's that for a thrill, huh?
Did you ever catch the name? Did you ever catch the name of the club in Temple of Doom?
I have not.
It's Club Obi-Wan.
Is it really?
Yep.
Jesus Christ! Now that's a movie I got to watch again because I have
It's
not
on all the
watched
time. It's always on one of the HBOs.
Yeah.
They do marathons and whatnot. Just the way it was. The color scheme in the movie was different than like Raiders was in a dust bowl because it was in a desert. And whatnot. And this one had like an orange feel to it, if that makes any sense. Because and then when they did the Last Crusade, it was back to being the tan movie of like Raiders.
I get what you mean.
But Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom is a very underrated Indiana Jones movie. Everybody says that's the worst. It's not the worst.
And when you hear someone like Tarantino talk about it that way, I mean, because he knows movies. I mean,
Sure.
There's no question about it. I mean, he worked in that video store and everything. He goes, that would be a movie like 1941 we would put on and let it run while customers would come in, and everyone would stop and watch that scene.
Oh, I remember going to the mom and pop video stores, and they had the 27-inch screens, and they would have a movie on there, and you would just sit there and be fascinated.
He said certain movies would just draw people in, and he says 1941 especially would be one because you can watch it and you can leave it and come back to it because it's all little segments like that. But he had a lot to say about both of those films.
A lot of little subplots going on in that movie.
Yeah, but he said, those dance scenes in both of those were
Speaking of Quentin Tarantino, they started filming the Cliff Booth sequel.
I know, geez, that's going to be something, huh?
I will definitely go see that.
Oh, you kidding me? I just rewatched that, I think about a week ago. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And this time I did watch the Blu-ray version. It was much better than last year when I watched the DVD version because I had them both and I was like a stupid idiot. My eyes are going. I'm looking at it going, what the hell? Is this the extra? Is this the extras footage or this, what do they call special features?
Now, I don't know anything about this movie. I'm assuming it takes place after Once Upon a Time.
I would say it would have to.
So maybe we could get a cameo from Margot Robbie because, she didn't die.
If it's after... She did die.
No, they saved her.
Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of...
The alternate timeline. She's alive.
It's funny you should say that because I watched it again and I really felt for those people at the end of the movie. And that whole scene where they're with Jay Sebring and all that and who's the other guy he was supposed to be? I think it was Jay Sebring. And they're talking, Roman Polanski wasn't there, so it had to be Jay Sebring. And they're talking to Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who was
Jake.
And it was almost like they were at the gates of heaven, almost. I know they didn't die in the movie.
Was it Jake? Was his name Jake in that?
I can't remember. You'd think I would know. I know Cliff Booth, though. I mean...
we'll have to look it up.
I was just saying, geez, it's a shame those people had to die the way they did. And I don't know, I just got a real peaceful feeling for them. And they were so happy, but boy, when that last scene, though, when he goes at those hippies...
Tex, you're Tex.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You're Tex.
And he was all high on acid and everything.
All right, Leonardo DiCaprio played Rick Dalton, but he played Jake on the Western show.
That's right. Rick Dalton.
Right.
And Cliff Booth.
And Cliff Booth, his stuntman.
Beat the hell out of Bruce Lee.
He did. He threw him through a car almost.
Which was a great scene.
So,
do you know who the guy? Remember? Okay, the whole scene where when Rick Dalton goes to be in that film, where Cliff is on the set and he gets him some extra work, or stunt work, and then he has the fight with Bruce Lee. The director of that film goes in and he's like decking Rick Dalton out in the hippie clothes and the phrase and all that.
Sabata.
Do you know who that guy was?
Spiderman. Peter Parker.
Nicholas Hammond.
Right.
At the end, I'm watching the credits and I'm like, get out of here. And I had to rewind. I'm like, it was him.
He was also in
Sound of Music. Yeah,
we've met him a bunch of times. He used to do the Super Mega Fest out in Framingham.
Now, I've seen that movie, just once before, but I never knew that was him.
And he played the big man on campus on the Brady Bunch.
That's right. Doug Simpson, wasn't it?
Right. Exactly. Yes. Because I remember Jeff going up to him and he goes, dude, you got all these pictures here, but you got none of Doug Simpson.
Oh my God, he must have loved that.
And he did like the Macaulay Culkin, the hands on the face. He goes, you're right. He goes, I don't. He lives in Australia.
Does he really?
So they flew him to Framingham from Australia.
Isn't that awesome though that Tarantino would think to get him in that film? I mean, I'm sure I can't see somebody else doing all the casting for Tarantino. He's got to have it in his head who he wants in his movie.
Well, Tarantino's a huge Dukes of Hazzard fan.
Okay.
So Tom Wopat was in Django Unchained.
That's right.
And there were two characters in that movie named Roscoe.
Oh, Jesus, that's right.
So, and I believe one of the characters, I believe Tom Wopat, who played Luke Duke, was the Marshal of Chickasaw County, which was the neighboring town of Hazard on the Dukes of Hazzard.
God. That's a riot.
So if James Best was alive and Sorrel Book and Denver Pyle were all still alive,
definitely Sorrel Book.
They would have shown up in one of his movies.
Definitely
no
Sorrel
question.
Book would have been in a Tarantino flick.
I could have seen Sorrel Book playing Max Cherry and Jackie Brown.
Yeah.
That would have been an interesting... Or actually, James Best would have been actually good as Max Cherry. Not Robert Forrester.
These are the conversations that Tarantino loves to have.
And Robert Forrester was in Delta Force as the terrorist, the Arabian terrorist.
And I'm going to watch them both regardless of what you say.
Second one sucks. All right, end of story.
After I watch that, we're going to discuss it because nothing Chuck Norris does.
We don't have
sucks.
to.
You can't say that.
We don't have to watch it because the Delta Force is like I said, it's probably my favorite Chuck Norris one Other than, what did I say last week? The other one was, Invasion USA.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
I wasn't a fan of the missing in action movies.
I just watched all three of them. They were great.
Yeah, the Rambo had that.
Well, you can't compare them to Rambo. It's apples and oranges.
Well, I think the first missing in action came out in '84, which would have been before Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
I would say right now, the third one is very bloody. That's all I'm going to say.
Now listen, who are you? Your worst nightmare.
Yeah, you goddamn right.
Well, that was Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
No, that was the fourth one.
Was it the fourth one?
Yeah, I kid you not.
Fine. Well, you would know these things.
He
over
would.
there.
He would know these things.
Now, how do you know that?
Because he comes in like, throws the flaming bottle. Report! Now listen, who are you? Your worst nightmare. Fuck him!
You look like you're motorboating Loni Anderson over there.
Jeez. Voluptuous breasts.
Ramboobs.
Ramboobs. Remember the one, like, it's the movie that was like, someone got in trouble, but it was a little bit like a village. The final Rambo call.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so that was something different for Rambo.
It was.
You know, someone got in trouble, and it was sort of like the town was like a village.
Did you ever see Rambo Last Blood?
That was horrible.
It was not.
I didn't like it.
Oh, he kills people in that one.
Underground.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And he chopped that drug dealer's head off. That was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Well, Rambo's nasty, you know, so of course
But did he die at the end of that, do you think?
Who, Rambo?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I think he did. I think he sat in that chair and just died.
It's a long road when you're on your own.
Is that the one that Frank sings? Is that the one his brother sings?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Nothing's going to be the very first.
No, God.
No way.
No.
Did you ever see the alternate ending where Troutman kills him?
No.
Okay.
Jesus, I've never even knew there was an alternate ending.
All right. It actually makes the screen in Rambo 4. Sylvester Stallone as Rambo is having a nightmare. And they have all these crazy scenes, and they actually show the scene that was edited from the First Blood as the alternate ending, where Troutman stabs Rambo.
Right. Jeez, I never knew
So that was the actual ending for First Blood.
That would have been heavy.
Yeah, but then we wouldn't have had all the
No, we
Rambos.
wouldn't have. But I mean, that would have been a shocker to me because
Nothing is over. Nothing.
Yeah. It's not over till we decide it is. Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
That's right.
That's right.
Germans?
The goddamn Germans ain't got nothing to do with it.
The goddamn Germans ain't got nothing to do with it. We say trap one shit at a time.
Holy smokes, it's a Nazi. That was from 1941. Good old Slim Pickens.
You know what?
We kicked the shit out of you.
I'm going to have to see that. Do you have that on Blu-ray?
I don't. I almost bought it the other day. But I said, it's got to be coming up on streaming again. But, of course, nothing right now has it. You can buy it off of Amazon or rent it off of Amazon.
I don't want to buy it. I just want to borrow it from somebody.
I don't have it. I do not have it.
My video store, Jeff, no longer is closed for business, so I can't borrow his.
You know what's missing from around here? I know you'll say the Coolidge Corner Theater, but like when I listen to this podcast that Tarantino does, he is part owner of the Beverly, the new Beverly they call it in Los Angeles, and they show all these films every now and then. You can watch these great films. Like they'll bring back 1941, or they'll bring back like a Bruce Lee film or some samurai films, and anything. You'd be surprised at what they'll show, like the Manchurian Candidate, just these obscure films, but they're kind of well known. They'll do like Good and the Bad and the Ugly and stuff like that. The closest we probably have around here is the Alamo Drafthouse. You ever heard of this place, Alamo Drafthouse?
Never heard of it.
It's in the Sea Point area. Look them up online. But the only problem is, like, they're re-showing on the 28th. They're showing Jaws on the big screen.
29th.
Is it down in?
Yeah, they're also showing it in IMAX too.
Oh, okay. Well, they're showing it at the Alamo Drafthouse. I believe it's on the 28th, but maybe it is the 29th. But at any rate, like to get into Boston and find a parking spot for 7 o'clock.
Don't do that.
Yeah,
Wait, because the Coolidge Corner always shows it on Labor Day weekend.
I know. But it's like the Coolidge Corner is not easy to get to either.
Sure it is. It's wicked easy to get to.
Eh.
Especially if you go to a midnight show. You have plenty of parking.
Yeah, I'm sound asleep at midnight, but I wish we had like a good art house theater right in this town would be great. Why don't you work on that?
The Brattle Theater used to have over in Harvard Square.
Yeah, they used to.
Right. That's where Jeff saw. He never saw it before. Oh, this is gonna be like 8 or 9 years ago. He saw The French Connection for the first time. But I told him, you have to see it on the big screen. Wait till the Coolidge or somebody gets it. On VHS or on TV, it just doesn't do it justice.
Sure.
And he's like, dude, you are fucking right. That was fucking sweet.
See, that would be a film that if that came back around, I would go see in a minute.
Really?
Yeah. But
well, what can you do?
I don't know, just wait till somebody opens that movie theater.
Maybe we'll have...
Well...
She can reach into her yoga pants pockets and go and build a theater.
My dream was if Kung Fu Theater ever took off, I was going to see if we could do a thing down at the Veterans Hall down there.
Sure.
Where we could show like a Bruce Lee film on the big screen. Because one time, drove all the way to New Hampshire to see King Kong versus Godzilla, the original, because it was being shown in an art house type of a setting.
Well, actually, there is an art house in Somerville. They have
Well, that's right. The Arlington Theater, is it?
No.
Theater?
They convert. Well, there's that, but they also converted an armory into like this artsy fartsy place.
Really? And
So-
see, Somerville's close.
And the Somerville Theater is right in Davis Square. You can rent that place. So I actually, why don't you suggest the Coolidge Corner is my favorite because it's like it's like an old school movie theater.
Yeah.
It was made almost 100 years ago,
yeah.
and they added to it, new theaters and whatnot. But they actually have the old original theater there.
Mm-hmm.
And they take requests all the time of stuff you go in there. So, I mean, they just
But I
had...
mean, my dream was like to host it.
Well, why don't you do that?
I don't know how to go about these things.
You simply go in there like I
here
did
we
a
go.
long time
You used
ago.
to host stuff down there.
And say, I was hired to go in there and host. And it's like, yeah. So I went on stage and hosted. What? Come on, you're a host for Christ's sakes. What's to stop
For
you?
Christ's sakes.
Yeah, for Christ's
What's
sakes.
to stop you from going to the Coolidge Corner?
My inhibitions.
You go in there and then step on the stage to the microphone. Say, I'm hosting this. Come on.
They'll say, Jerry, can you get the manager? There's another one here. And he'll come down and he'll throw sand in my eyes.
That Bitman guy's
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
And he's a good host, so you better treat him with
movie.
respect.
We'll see.
There's no
Now
we'll
you're making me
see.
feel bad.
So your dream, other than to be the entertainer that you are and you excel at that, is you want to be like a midnight movie host.
Yeah, that would have been great. I love that.
Then we'll go to Coolidge Corner.
Well, we're being
They already
serious
have
here.
their midnight.
They already have the guy down there, but we're back. Hey, Larry is leaving the building, ladies and gentlemen.
Hasta la vista, Larry.
Hear it up for Larry. Let's give him a round of applause.
I can't wait to see what you're working on.
We'll have a little talk and try and go in there.
So what movies would you run? Quincy, be quiet for a second. This is very important.
well, now
this,
you're
this
putting
is,
me on the
this,
spot.
This is a
I mean-
pitch. We're pitching this to these.
So I'm helping them
run-
too.
no,
I
you're
would-
not pitching. You're yelling.
I would run, in addition to a good kung fu movie or a good samurai movie, I would run like Bill Devane in Rolling Thunder. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Oh, great movie. Movie of vengeance. That type of movie. But
Speaking of Bill Devane, you just watched him in Bad News Bears and Baking Training.
And I would run that movie too, because you know what? That's a really good movie, and it really shows the relationship between him and the kid. It's a very well done film. Breaking. I mean, if you go in saying that, oh, it's a sequel to the Bad News Bears and it's a comedy, you're kind of going to be let down. But if you watch it from the aspect of the Kelly Leak and his father, it's kind of heartwarming.
It is.
It is. It's a nice little story. I think they did a good job with it.
I enjoyed that. It came out in 1977.
Yeah, I think so. Things like that. So, what other movies?
Maybe you could fly in someone from the movie to do like a Q&A.
Yeah.
I mean, they had Francis Ford Coppola there not too long ago.
I mean,
they could bring in Tanner Boyle.
And like something like that would be, something like that on a huge scale. But something for me would just be the smaller movies that I love that are just like kind of trashy. Like my Bodyguard would be a movie I would show.
Oh, Jesus.
And we get our friend Adam Baldwin to come over if he's talking to us again. Or Chris Makepeace, who was just in Meatballs, which I just watched the other night.
Disney always reminds you of he could play the twin brother of Christopher on The Sopranos.
Yeah, he does look like he could be him as a little kid. Yeah,
Right.
Jesus. He was great in Meatballs, though. Boy, what
Meatballs. That was Ivan Reitman's
Yes.
first movie, I believe,
Yep.
and Bill Murray's first major motion picture.
Yeah.
And I love Meatballs. I actually saw that maybe like 10 years ago at the midnight showing over at the Coolidge.
At the Coolidge. See, and it's a very, I don't want to say underrated, but like young people today aren't going to watch Meatballs. Like I would go back, like when I was a kid, I was watching Bogart and Cagney and all those people. The young people today just have no interest in anything old. And like, if we don't keep these movies alive, who's going to, for crying out loud?
Hell, I remember if Meatballs played tomorrow, I'd go see it.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch that religiously because it was on WLVI Channel 56,
Yeah.
which seemed like every 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah.
If it was either Meatballs or The Ghost and Mr. Chicken
Great movie.
or Bless the Beast and the Children.
Now, that's one I would definitely show.
All of those were in like, in a cycle.
Yeah.
And you were guaranteed to see Meatballs at least 6 or 7 times a year on Channel 56.
I would definitely show Bless the Beast. Thanks for reminding me of that. That's a movie that doesn't get enough attention, I don't think.
Now, Meatballs.
Yeah.
The 1979
Yes.
movie that was filmed in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the guy who used to do the wrestling in there? In the movie? He was in the Olympics against the other camp.
Yeah.
That is Dustin Hoffman's brother.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
I never would have guessed that. I didn't even know he had a brother.
The only other movie I've ever seen him in other than Meatballs was the scene where Kelly LeBrock is walking through the mall in Weird Science. He's one of the bystanders there.
Okay.
So obviously, my brother's Rain Man. He, making he's won 17 million Academy Awards. I'm the dude from Meatballs who's now a background character in Weird Science.
Do you think they hang out at all?
No,
No?
not at all.
They're not on good terms, you don't think?
Well, I don't know that, but I'm just assuming, like, hey, Dustin, can you throw me a bone
Yeah.
here? I'm your brother. I'm your brother.
What do you want me to do? Throw you a meatball? Well, throw you a meatball. You do the meatball show.
Listen, you and Meatballs, and you didn't get me a role in that movie.
Let me see. What was I doing? Kramer versus Kramer. What were you doing? Meatballs. I'm doing meatballs.
And guess what? More people saw Meatballs than they did Kramer versus Kramer.
Although I did see both, but I mean, Meatballs was a lot more enjoyable.
Did you ever see Meatballs 2?
Yeah, I thought that was a different film till you started describing that to me
Meathead.
earlier. Yeah, with the alien.
And then Meatballs 3 was, I believe, the one. Yeah, Meatballs 3 was the one with Patrick Dempsey. Sally Kellerman.
Why did they do this?
Why? Sally Kellerman was a hooker or a porn star, and she died, and she tried to get him laid in the movie.
So she was like a ghost?
Yeah, she was a whore ghost.
What the hell? Why was there an alien and a ghost in the 2 subsequent Meatball movies?
And then there was the 4th one. Speaking of Howard Stern.
No. There was not a 4th Meatballs.
There was.
Dude, there was no way.
And do you know who was in that? You know how I know that? Do you know how I know there was a Meatballs 4?
Okay, Ron Howard. Clint Howard was in it.
No. Almost as bad.
Maybe they thought that a horror and a ghost would make a good combination.
That was a good one, Too bad it wasn't in 3D.
A horror and a ghost.
All right. So Meatballs 4 starred Corey Feldman, who plugged it on Howard's show, on his Channel 9 show.
Oh, Howard must have made fun of that.
Oh, come on, of course. And we got Corey Feldman here. He's plugging his new motion picture, Meatballs 4. I do not know the plot of Meatballs 4. I've only seen clips, and it really reminded me of a really bad Saved by the Bell episode. It's the only way I can describe it in my head. But Meatballs, the quintessential summer movie from 1979. It was a heartwarming story.
Yeah.
Buddy film. Bill Murray taking Chris Makepeace under his wing and whatnot and showing him, you know what? You're not a bad kid.
And that was a good movie. I mean, he did great in that movie, and he did great in My Bodyguard. I don't know why he didn't have a bigger career, that kid. He was very talented.
I have no idea. I know he was from Canada.
Yeah, that's right. He's a Canadian. You're right. I did look that up last time. But he only had a handful of films.
And then Morty, from
Yes,
Hey
yes,
Mickey, it's Morty.
Yep.
He went on to be a star on Cagney and Lacey.
Jeez. Which there was a character on Cagney and Lacey named Ricky Bittman.
I do remember that. You sent me the clip.
Ricky Bittman's going away to sleepaway camp this summer.
That was Cagney's. No, that was Lacey's son. Talking about it.
What's the matter? The camp we send you to ain't good enough. He's just talking, Howard. But I had a little double feature the other night, Meatballs and Breaking Training. That would have been a great drive-in double feature.
Would.
What would have played first?
Oh, easily. That would have been Meatballs played first.
You think so?
Yeah.
And then Breaking Training?
Training.
If I was in charge of them, I would have put it the other way around just to make people stay longer and put Breaking Training opening and Meatballs after because it was the better movie, which is what they used to do.
Honestly, I've only been to a drive-in once.
Oh, man. I used to go.
Sorry.
I'll think of some of the movies. I saw Conquest of the Planet of the Apes at the drive-in. I saw The Gauntlet at the drive-in. I saw... I'm running dry. But I saw a lot of movies at the drive. It was a big part of my childhood. Loved it.
Did you sneak your friends into the trunk?
Well, I was a kid. My dad would take us, and he would drink his beer, and my mother would eat, and we would all eat in the car and everything. My mother would sit there, and he would smoke cigarettes. And they had these little things that you could buy at the drive-in. It was a little coil that you lit on fire with a match, and it would slowly burn like a punk. Remember those punk things that they sell at the 4th of July? And it was to keep the mosquitoes away. And he'd put that on the dashboard. My sisters would complain that the smell of that made them sick and everything. But he's like, well, it's either that or the mosquitoes, And he would sit there and he'd crack his Schlitz and drink it and watch the movies. And he would often have to go sell his blood to afford to take us to the drive-in.
Well, he was committed.
He was, and a lot of people were probably walking around a little tipsy after getting my old man's blood. But,
Getting back to Meatballs for a second.
Yes.
Remember the scene when they were in the parking lot at Kmart?
Yes.
That looked just like the Kmart in Saugus, Mass.
Yeah.
Every Kmart looked exactly the same
did
back
look
in the
the same.
day.
Yeah.
But that was a Canadian Kmart.
Really?
Well, it was filmed in Canada.
I didn't know that either.
It was filmed in Toronto. To the Toronto area, I should say. Well, that's why Ivan Reitman was Canadian.
It was a beautiful setting.
It's still there.
The camp?
Yeah, the camp is still there. Now, don't you think they could have they should have casted someone better looking for Roxanne?
Yeah, I was thinking, I hate to say that, but I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, why isn't she more foxy?
Right.
But I know maybe just to make him look not as shallow. He didn't go after he just legitimately loved her, and he was chasing.
She looked like Bobby Brady.
Yeah, she just did not have
She wasn't attractive at all.
And the girl, like one of the other, like the counselors with the curly hair and the big teeth, she was cuter than her. And I'm like, then you had the one with the really long, sexy legs. She was hot too. But yeah, he was going after her, and I was just like,
Bill Murray is a huge wrestling fan.
Is he really?
He was. I remember Jesse Ventura was talking about. I got a call once from Bill Murray out of nowhere, and this was back in the 80s, and I was making fun of Uncle Elmer at his wedding, and I said I don't know what the line was, and Bill Murray said he was on the floor crying, laughing.
I bet, yeah.
For hours. But getting back in Meatballs, when he was fooling around with Roxanne, he was doing Skull Crusher.
That's right, yeah, the wrestling thing. You're right.
So Bill Murray is a huge wrestling fan.
Yeah, I just saw it the other night. I highly recommend that if you're out there.
Are you ready for the summer?
Are you ready for the sunshine?
Are you ready for the sunshine?
No more teachers, no more books, or whatever the hell it was. It was a good movie.
Because it just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter.
It just doesn't matter. Now, that guy, Phil, remember the guy who was the other coach? He was the coach of the soccer thing?
Yeah.
He looks like Alex Jones.
Yeah, he does. Jesus, you're right.
I was like watching that years later. I go, did Alex Jones appear in Meatballs as Phil?
He might have.
Well, only Alex Jones knows.
So I'm trying to go and I'm trying to listen to this podcast with Tarantino, taking his recommendations. And they're not all artsy-fartsy movies, what I'm trying to say. Like, he'll give Temple of Doom, he'll give Meatballs, he'll give all these other films some credit. And just, say they're not, just because they're not artsy-fartsy films or best actor nominations or best movie nominations doesn't mean they're not good movies.
True.
I mean, if you have him talk about Chris Makepeace was just kind of interesting because, does anyone besides him does anyone besides myself know that kid's name?
It's a miracle he hasn't shown up at a Comic-Con.
Yeah. Great in My Bodyguard. Still one of my all-time favorite films. That's a movie I would show in my art house if I owned one.
Maybe if they have the 50th anniversary of Meatballs coming up in 4 years?
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be able to
Well, that was one of Jeff's favorite movies, and
You're
Jeff
right.
and I was talking about that. My Bodyguard was like an after-school kind of special.
No, it was a movie. It wasn't an after-school special.
Well, Jeff considered it to be a little bit like what he would call an after-school special.
Maybe it was an after-school movie or something. that he wanted to watch.
Okay, an
But it
after-school movie.
It wasn't the ABC after-school special.
No. But he called it. It was a semi-serious movie where a young kid had to learn how to stand up to bullies.
That's right.
Okay, and so they hired two kids, two younger ones, and not two adults who became bodyguards.
Yeah.
And then
Nobody's arguing this point.
yeah, but That's the truth on My Bodyguard.
We've seen it, Quincy.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie.
And then there was The Bodyguard. I got the stuff that you want. I got the things that you need. I got more than enough to make you drop to your knees. I am the queen of the night. And I'm 2 good movies, That's Whitney Houston.
What the hell were you talking about?
The Bodyguard.
Yeah, so that's 2.
I don't think that would be a movie that would even be on your radar.
The one with
Whitney Houston.
Whitney Houston?
Yeah.
And I...
Yeah.
That's a good movie.
So I'm just like having some fun with.
Time out for sports here. You go from My Bodyguard with Chris Makepeace and Martin Mull, all right,
To
to
The
Kevin
Bodyguard.
Costner, The Bodyguard. Now, why would you watch? What possessed you to watch this romantic movie?
Because at the time I just felt like investigating, have some fun with it.
It's a good movie.
Investigating what? What are you?
It's a good movie.
I
It's
know
a
you're a
good movie.
detective on a TV show, but
Ralph Waite is in that movie.
Ralph Waite.
He plays Kevin Costner's father, Mr.
I
Walton.
guess the reason I watched that movie because it had Whitney Houston songs.
And she was beautiful in that movie.
Yeah.
And Kevin Costner really kind of fell for her. And I will say this. I took a young lady to see that movie, and let's just say it paid off well.
Oh yeah,
Very romantic movie, and let's just say it did the trick, Quincy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
sure.
So kind of like Ralph Waite, you spent the night in the box.
Oh, did I ever. That movie paid off. Woo! Space Mountain all night long.
Speaking of Space Mountain, wrap up the show, Quince.
Well, wait a minute before we go.
Oh,
I
time
wanted to
out.
mention one thing.
All right, let's
Dean
backtrack.
Cain is now
He's in ICE, right?
he is. He has I guess he was a police officer before. I guess he had he says, for those who don't know, I am a sworn law enforcement officer as well as being a filmmaker. And I felt it was important to join with our first responders to help secure the safety of all Americans, not just talk about it. He's 59 years old, so he has officially joined ICE. That's going to really rattle some damn feathers out there.
Imagine if you're an illegal, and then out of nowhere, it's like, wait a minute, did Superman just throw me out of the country?
Would be interesting.
It will be interesting.
And there's also the growing trend, before we forget, the dildos, the WNBA dildos.
The what?
The WNBA dildos.
Who are the WNBA dildos?
It's a new team. No, actually, what's happening is there's been a few cases, 2 arrests have been made in the matter, where sex toys, dildos in this case, have being thrown onto the WNBA courts during games.
Oh.
And we really can't understand why, but apparently one 23-year-old man was arrested and an 18-year-old who was arrested, saying it was just a stupid prank that was trending on social media. He bought the sex toy the day before the game, brought it to the game, and threw it onto the court. And they're saying, the officials are saying, it's ridiculous, it's dumb, it's stupid, it's also dangerous, and, player safety is number one, respecting the game and all those things. But that's the new thing now. They're throwing dildos onto the court.
So imagine you're gonna go out and spend money on a dildo,
Yeah.
and then bring it to a female basketball game and whip it on the court.
I mean, do you think like that? Like, where is that dildo now? Does it have to be secured into evidence, or do they just throw it
The
away?
janitor takes it home. What are you talking about?
Hey, honey, look what I got.
Who said I never bring home anything from work?
And it was bright green.
It's a bright green dildo.
Yeah.
Leprechauns from the Celtics? Who knows?
It even had a set of nuts on it too, which I'm like, what do they need that for?
Quincy, wrap up the show.
Okay. We want to thank you for watching this very unique, interesting episode.
Unique.
It is unique and original. So we hope to see you again very soon on another unique, original episode. So, as usual, please drive home carefully because, especially this time of year, I guess, what holiday? Labor Day is coming up. So watch out. All drivers, don't drink and drive, especially. And remember, we never close.